Hi, this is Patrick again. I wanted to share with you one of the most powerful discoveries that you have the opportunity to make in your lifetime, if you haven't made it yet, and that is the power of the mind. At the very most basic level, what we think of as reality is a perceptual mirage. In other words, everything that we believe to be solid and separate is actually patterns of energy. The mechanism by which we perceive this, our eyes, our ears, all of our senses, are decoding or transmitting and receiving signals. And these signals come from the energy that we believe to be the physical reality. One of my favorite, hopefully that made sense, one of my favorite icons, heroes, characters from history is Albert Einstein. And Albert Einstein is famous for having said that the most powerful tool that we have is our imagination. And I remember hearing that 25 or 30 years ago and thinking that what he was referring to is the ability to create, whether it's constructing a building or a business or an invention or a movie, that the power of the imagination can create all of these things. And on some level maybe that's what he was talking about, but I believe that if you read more about Einstein and what he discovered, you'll realize that what he was pointing to is something else entirely, and that is that our entire world is created by our mind, our imagination. We imagine ourselves to be physical bodies that are separate from this exterior solid world, when in fact quantum physicists like Einstein and so many before him and since him have discovered that it's all energy. The reason why the movie The Matrix did so well, I believe, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it, is because what it pointed to was the fact that in the movie, The Matrix was a simulation created by artificial intelligence. Now, it goes off in the direction of science fiction, but right now, what we believe to be experiencing is real. You looking at this videotape on this computer, are signals. The signals come through our senses and we take them to be reality, and this is all a construct. What's really going on is information is being transmitted from one receiver and transmitter to another. And the reason why that's so important is because if you ask yourself what you really wanted right now in your life, you might come up with some answer like, I want happiness, I want peace of mind, I want more money, I want my wife to stop bugging me, whatever it is, I want the dogs to stop barking. So often when we have the opportunity to look at powerful life-changing ideas that come from spiritual teachings or philosophers or mystics or whatever, quite often the first thought that comes to our mind might be, well, you know, that's great that this is all energy, but how does that help me pay my bills? You know, I'm going to be losing my house or my car, or, you know, I'm dying of cancer or whatever it may be. But if we're willing to look at it, we can see that these teachings, these principles, these truths, this deeper understanding of reality points to a freedom that's available right now. And what that means to me is that we are being fooled by an illusion. We are caught into a seeming reality that feels like it has no way out. And what's really going on is we are lost in a series of thoughts, that a construct that is having us believe that life is a fixed way. And what we can do right now, in any moment we're ready, is to step back and take a look. And what we are able to see is that our stress, our problems, everything that we believe to be so real are simply our attachment to stories that have been going around in our head since the beginning of time. And at the core of those stories is I'm not okay. You know, the guilt that we believe is associated with the simple fact that I'm not okay the way I am, and that I must strive and struggle to become a better person, or even the self-help movement of I need to be more loving and more kind, and the messages that you hear me talk about being loving and kind. It's so easy to get stuck into the idea that how we are in the world is a solid, fixed, or changing character. But in fact, what we are is the consciousness in which this character is playing out. we can watch the character of Patrick or our wife or our kids or whatever and see that it's so easy to get lost into believing that these characters are who they are. But what we are is the light that animates, the life and the energy that animates all of these things. We are not the characters. And the mind is just about completely unable to grasp that. But what can grasp that is the consciousness, the light of who we are. Because if we can watch and see our thoughts float by, and we can watch and laugh at the character, that plays out the roles, all the roles that we've taken on since the beginning of time, we can have a sense of humor and see, oh my gosh, that's quite a character. I've been able to have a sense of humor most of my life, mostly because of the gift that I received from my parents, who have a great sense of humor. My whole family has a great sense of humor. And that's the power of the mind. We can learn to look at things differently. Through the use of our imagination, our mind, we can reconstruct how we perceive our reality. So at one point seemed like a stressful, fearful, limited scenario that appears to be our life, we can look at it through different eyes. And that's what this message is about, that we don't have to be stuck in the limitation that we think our life is about. We can look at it differently. We can step back and see that everything that we believe to be so solid and real is simply the attachment to the stories. And when we're willing to see that and realize that they have no value at all, what is the point of believing these stories? We keep thinking that somehow they're going to give us something. They never have, and they never will. What will give you something is understanding who you are as a being of light. I offer this to you today from my heart. This is my purpose for being on this planet. And you know what? In some way, it's yours also. To remember that you are the light of the world. You are the live, intelligent awareness that's animating this. And it's not separate from you and me or anyone else. This is part of who we are. The dogs just came running back past. That's pretty funny. Anyway, take this message to heart. Open up your heart and your mind and your imagination and realize that you can open up to the freedom that is your natural state. I wish that for you, and have a great day. Bye.